You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But you can give him a little salt to make him thirsty.
Sales Ascenders, happy Wednesday. Chris here. We get to have, we're ongoing in the Member Spotlight series. It's going to be a fun conversation. You're in the right place because we are going to be talking about all things sales. We're going to be talking about the best sales coach that you haven't heard of yet. And there's reasons for this, all of which are going to be uncovered together today. So before we do, a couple quick housekeeping things. In the Sales Ascenders Inner Circle group, there are members being added daily, and there's extraordinary talent. There's people, agencies that are serving all the huge names that we know. Anyone that's here, if you're here, it's because you're an experienced business owner, sales, marketing professional, and we're connecting. We're networking. We all have value. Let's connect together. Let's network, and let's go farther together. So that said, we get to talk to a sales expert that has been in sales for a really long time. Anyone that's been in sales more than a year has already lived a lot of life, learned a lot of lessons, because that's kind of how sales work. And everyone has a great story of how they eventually got into sales, because no one's like, I want to get into sales. They just kind of like get into sales and they somehow stay there, at least the great ones. And that's who we're talking to today. So without further ado, we get to talk with Coach Korby. What's up, Korby? How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Just relaxing, trying to take a half a day off. It's getting into busy season, proposals and all that other fun stuff for corporate contracts. So it's
there
fun.
There we go. Always working on the big deals. We're going to get into some of that. But as we were just starting our conversation, man, you gotta share some of that story, because like this guy for his birthday got a whole situation that happened. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
So I work with a lot of fit pros, and they said you can't not be in shape. I don't know if that's a double negative, so it means I guess I got to get in shape. So for my birthday, kind of like behind me, if you can kind of see it there.
Inside tour here.
Yeah, so there's an exercise, right? I got a bench.
There we go.
I got these power blocks. They got me a treadmill. I have a power tower. I got this TerraCore. That's what it's called.
There it is.
TerraCore, old school wheel, pull-up station. It's insane. Like as they would say on the game show, total value $3,900. So something like that. I don't know, but ever since then I started working out, and I realized that I do like old school calisthenics. So I do use the weights and the bike, but once a week. But I like push-ups, pull-ups, dips, bodyweight squats, knee bends, because for me, calisthenics is like sales in many ways. It trains the mind to push through like objections, because your body wants to stop. And in sales, sometimes you want to stop, but you got to keep fighting through it. So calisthenics is perfect for training that mental part of your game too.
Man, as you're saying this, the one word that's going through my head is resistance. Resistance in fitness, resistance in business and sales. Anyone listening today, like, I don't know, drop a comment if you face some resistance in business, you're facing some resistance this week. Because resistance and motivation are probably the things that should and do happen daily. But let's talk about that. I'd be curious to hear a little bit more about, just from your perspective, your thoughts, the parallel of fitness and sales.
Okay, you can't get lucky in fitness. There's nobody that's going to accidentally get in shape. I've never forget. Hey man, I was watching Netflix.
This is good.
I had a big show on, and boom, I woke up and I had cuts in my stomach. That's never going to happen. So you can fake a lot of things, but you can't fake sales. So just like in fitness and in sales, most important thing you got to remember is sales will never go past your personal growth. In fitness will never go past your personal growth, because you got to master the habits. So both, let's call it professions for now, because taking care of your body is a profession you can't get out of. It's the only one you got. And sales as a profession, you have to constantly learn new techniques, because the way I learned to sell, none of that works anymore.
Wow. Because
the way I learned to sell was I knocked on doors. That's how long ago, 1991.
There we go, 91.
That's a long time. I'm guessing half the people listening to this probably weren't even born in 1991. So you had to actually interrupt people's days like this. Not a little easy little message. Hey, how are you? None of that.
Let's go back there for a second. Knock, knock, knock. Corby's first knocking on door experience. How did that go?
Bam! Bam!
There we go. So you see, like in fights, you get black eyes. In sales, you get black nose. Apparently, you get.
It took me I'll never forget this. It took me 298 doors to get my first sale.
There you go. Resistance.
And you had to walk from house to house. It wasn't in a nice building like we could do today. Wasn't no blast email, whoever responded. No. And what's funny, it took me 100 doors just to figure out the right way to knock, how far back from the door to get, because early 90s, everybody was scared to open the door. Well, they don't even open them now. They just look at ring and say, not safe. Let's keep watching TV.
There you go.
It was challenging. So you knock, then you back up 6 to 8 feet so they know you ain't gonna bust in the house. Then you got to try to get them to listen. So you had to have a really good opener. So
there we go. Yeah,
you got to be good in that first 30 seconds. Otherwise, you don't get in the house.
30 seconds, man, like 10 seconds, right? Like
now, 10 seconds. Back then, they gave you 30 like this.
Yeah, with the one eye.
The one eye. You can see the one eye.
Give you
what you got?
The fish look.
Yeah, and then if they like you, the door, then you can see the full face.
You're like, oh, okay, I'm getting closer.
And if they trust you, then they stuck their head out, make sure nobody else is going to rush in. And then finally, you can get in the house and then make your pitch. So imagine something and most of the time when you pitch something, it's something you never heard of.
There we go.
So now, back when I started, I was selling water filters. So it wasn't
we go.
People never heard of a water filter. You know what I'm saying? Like, water filter, my water's fine. I don't need your water filter. I'm like, wait a minute. Give me some water out your sink. And I would give them water, give me some water. And they still do it to this day. You put the pool drops in it to test the water like your pool. And, a lot of places I sold, they had pools already. I said, nah, that's fake. Let me go get my own pool tester. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So back in the early 90s, all this technology with UV lights, and that wasn't around yet. So they would and realize that the water they were drinking was not safe to swim in. So they go, oh my gosh. So then I show them my water filter. And then I say, okay, look, you can use this water filter for a week. Puppy dog clothes, by the way.
Yeah.
You can use this water filter for a week, and I'll come back in a week. If you don't want it, I'll take it back. And every time I came back to the house, it was always like this. You would always see them opening their wallet to pay me because nobody would give the filters back. So the trick is, and this is for salespeople too, if sometimes you're not going to close them right then, is there a way they can experience your product in a safe environment for 7 days or 14 days? Because once they experience your product, if you're worth your salt, they stay. If you're not worth your salt, they leave. So that's an easy way to do it. That stuff still works. You can still do puppy dog clothes. That's why you see a lot of internet marketers, $1 today, $79 in 2 weeks. But here's what they already know. Most people are going to do the $1 and not do anything for the 2 weeks. And then on the 14th day, when they get charged again, they go, oh man, I forgot to cancel it. So you got to give everything an actual go. If you do a trial offer, try it out. Because don't wait till you get charged, because literally in those, like the fine print says, once you get charged, you don't get your money back. So now that you paid 80 and you got to stay a month, you might as well use that month to figure out if you like the product. So if you can figure out a way to give people an experience of your product, if they don't want it right away when you close them, you can do that. So give them a safe way to the grocery store. You give them a safe way to experience your product. You'll be eating for the long term. I thought I tied in now.
There we go. I know. I like that hook. I'm tracking. I'm also hungry, so that works perfect. But so, no, I want to hang on that because I think you're just to highlight one piece, and you can see I put the banner there. Is there a way your customer, I didn't type it perfect there, but customers to experience your product in a safe environment? Like one way that you suggested is a free trial. Yeah. And there might be some people with different products or service like, wow, Chris, it doesn't really make sense to me to do a free trial. I just don't want to do one. Totally fine. I think the key phrase there is safe environment. Safe environment doesn't always mean no money. Safe environment means, maybe a lesser version so they can try one part of your product or service. It can mean a lot of different, but I was hoping you can maybe elaborate on safe environment in different ways to kind of build trust and relationship. Okay. So on my corporate sales side, a lot of corporations have obviously resistance to spending money, especially down on sales training. But I'm an expert in a little known industry called the call center industry. I'm joking when I say that, obviously. But for people who watching this go call center industry, well, why would you be in the call center industry?
Everything in your house at the end of that line is a call center.
Mm.
So think about your phone, this SteamYard, this Facebook, Instagram. At the end of the line, you're always going to end up with Jacqueline on the phone saying, "How can I help you today?" That's where it always ends. So call center is a huge industry, but like internet marketing, it's small because there are only 200 people in this gigantic industry who do what I do. So it's small, and we're all fighting for key clients, right? So now is the time because they get new budgets for next year. So
got it.
How do I help people experience what I do in a safe environment? I say, okay, give me 6 people in your company. I'll train them on my dime. But you have to sign a non-compete in the disclosure agreement that states if they use my techniques once I leave, you have to pay me. Okay, fine. So I teach them a little piece of the system to help them get results immediately because I know how call centers work. So it's two key metrics in call centers. Did you sell something, and was the call short? So those are 2 things I was fighting. How can we make calls shorter, and can you sell something at a shorter time frame? So on average, I already know like just 3 techniques of my 36 techniques for call centers. I can shorten an average call by 50 seconds, and I can increase their turnover rate in terms of revenue. Depends on, I say turnover because I like that word better. I can increase their amount that they're earning by 15 to 18% per transaction with 3 techniques of 36.
There you go. So like just playing with that for a second. Okay, so a couple of things you said. Number one, you said, hey, here's where we start.
Yep.
So it's, I got this idea, I'm really excited about it, or I'm kind of excited about it. You're still leading the way, which I think, being a leader in the sales process is really, really crucial. So you're saying, this is what we do next. It's very simple. I'm going to, let me create some value for you first. The second thing you mentioned are basically the KPIs, key performing indicators of who you're selling to. What are the people that you're selling to? What do they care about and why? And if it's more than 2 things, it's probably too complicated because most people just buy for what? One reason. Sometimes maybe a second, but usually if there's one reason why they're buying, you're already dialed in on those 2 KPIs that matter. And I love the last piece that you mentioned, which was, but see, I got 30. I only gave you a little bit. Right? We still got over 30 other ones to go play with. So yeah, that was really good.
So the trick for people on the call, you got to have a bag of tricks, right? And if you don't have a bag of tricks, it's not going to work. So this is a key phrase. Write this down, put it in your notes, stick it on your wall, whatever. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But you can give him a little salt to make him thirsty.
Yeah, I like that one.
So are you salting your customers? See, you got to season customers. You just can't go out there and just think that when you put it out there, they want it. Sometimes you got to season them.
Korby, listen, like when it's tri-tip night, right? Like I'm not just trying to throw the tri-tip on the grill.
Yeah.
Like we need to season the tri-tip.
You got to season this.
There's a process before we're going to have this meal.
Exactly. That tri-tip's going to be horrible. Your friends are never coming back.
That's the problem. We need to season that thing.
Game of Thrones, we need some seasoning on here. Like, unless we got the wolf hats on and it got to be in character, I need some salt. I need some pepper. I need some garlic. I need some oregano.
Yeah.
I need to cast down a skillet or a hot grill, something. You
Man,
just don't no dead meat on it and expect it's going to go right for you, right?
And of course, we're going to get all these ingredients from Safeway. We got to keep it going, right?
Why not? So it's got to be a safe way to cook the meat, right? So
there it is.
So let me ask you something. If you're listening to this, but I also ask you, Chris, what is your seasoning techniques for your clients? So seasoning for us means how are you following up on them and keeping them in the conversation? How are you seasoning their desire to work for you?
That is a great question. I was just finished a book called by Keith Cunningham. What is it? The Road to Less Stupid or something like that?
Yeah, the Road Less Stupid.
There it is.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, and basically, he has this powerful premise of think time and how to prep for think time. That question right there is worth 5, 30, 60 plus minutes of think time of that's good. That's good.
So people want to eat but they don't want to marinate. They don't want to prep. They don't want to have all the ingredients to make the meal good. They just want to get out there and eat. So every time, so Thanksgiving's coming up in America. So perfect way to think of it is, if your I already know if your family food is going to be good by asking 2 questions. I say, okay, when are you going to start cooking? If the answer is Thursday, I'm not coming to your house because it's not enough prep time.
That's it.
And 2, what are you marinating? If they say nothing, I'm not coming to your house because you didn't put in the necessary steps, in my opinion, for that food to be good. So it's only a limited number of houses I can go to on Thanksgiving. Your house ain't going to be one of them because I know your prep wasn't correct. So as a salesperson, here's the magic question of the day. How are you prepping to perfect your craft? What are you doing? Sometimes the reason why your sales numbers stink is because you stink. You're not adding nothing new. So it's like becomes like a swamp where there's no outlet or no inlet. It becomes rancid and it kills everything around it. So that's how come when you see salespeople struggle, the first thing I always say, what's the last 3 books you read? 7 Habits of Holly Broke People. I got it. Yeah. So
so you like that book, or?
I've read it many times. So that's what stops people. They don't season their prospects. They don't have seasoning techniques to make prospects want to work with them. Because the difference between a good filet mignon and an amazing filet mignon from the same cow is the chef, the preparation, and the seasoning.
That's fun to hang out on for a second, because as we're all in competitive markets, and if we're not, it might not be a good market to be in.
I agree.
No one's paying for it. There's probably reasons. So as we're in competitive markets and we're all cut from the same cloth, so to speak, it's this, it's the same cow.
Exactly.
How are we seasoning? How are we prepping? How are we differentiating? How are we serving the market that we're approaching? Valuable. Absolutely. Yeah, that's good. So
I give you one more example of this that most people can relate to. You're not a woman, so I'm assuming you don't have any leggings. But women go crazy for leggings. Like I know people with 47, 50 pair of leggings, which that's baffling to me, but it is what it is. But here's the funny thing. I did a whole series of secrets about sales, and we talked about leggings in one of the segments. And here's the funny part. We went to Walmart's website and found the exact same leggings that was on Victoria's Secret's website. Here's the funny part. Walmart said multi-stretch, 70-30 blend, active. You can use them for fishing, camping, put all these activities. Go to the Victoria's Secret site. Active moisture wicking technology. What? What is that? Just something made up. Sounds fantastic, right? 4-way stretch fabric. Now, basically, that's the same thing. Then here was the killer part. Curve smoothing technology. What?
Technology. I love this. The technology.
Yeah, technology. But here's the funny thing. Does that mean they're just tight? Like, okay. It makes you
Spanx-ish.
It said adequate for gym or a night out on the town. So, but when we get all the way to the bottom, it was the same blend of material. Walmart $11, Victoria's Secret's $49.76.
Literally cut from the same cloth.
Literally cut from the same cloth. The funny thing, right?
I don't know if you're just picking that example to like bring it back again, but if
cut from the same cloth. But here's the best part about it. You ready? Victoria's Secret sold fantasy, Walmart sold function. So sometimes salespeople struggle because they keep selling function and they don't sell fantasy. One of my favorites is, leave me alone, don't judge me. I love the Spice Girls. And I have a huge poster in my office from their Don't You Want to Be My Lover, that album. And it's all the Spice Girls. And my friends go, dude, you really got a thing for them. I said, no, look at the words. Tell me what you want, what you really, really want, right? It never says, tell me what I want. So when you're dealing with prospects, let them tell you what they want. You sell them what they want. Then you give them what they need so they can have what they want. But the problem is we over here fighting over benefits. Nobody cares about your little benefits. I mean, features, nobody cares. Nobody. I'm willing to bet if I say, hey, Chris, after this call, I want to sign you up for military style hardcore working out. Unless you found out last week you're going to die, you don't want to sign that up. But I say, hey, we got a fun workout. Going to have obstacle course involved. It's going to be a lot of guys there. It's going to be fantastic. I'm in. So the problem is people are out here selling work, sell fun, and people will work to have the fun.
There we go. Man, that's another line. You can see I'm putting up banners is sell fun. That's just right there. 2 words. That's a great line right there. Sell fun. Sell what people want, what they really, really want. Anyone that can work in Spice Girls in a meaningful way in a sales, I mean, well played, sir. I did not see that coming, and that's how you know you're a true sales professional.
I've been at this for a long time, man. You know, if your ribs haven't touched at least twice as a salesperson, you probably ain't in deep enough.
That's good stuff, man. Man, there's one other thing that I wanted to mention that you were saying. And approach, I don't want to lose it. It's gonna have to come back to me. I do like the fun piece that you're talking about though, because I think a lot of business owners, entrepreneurs who are really also sales professionals, or at least need to be.
They should be.
Why? Because we need to be selling the mission and vision to our team, because we need to be selling, obviously, always to, if it's JV partnerships, other partnerships, new deals to bring into the sales it's a skill, it's a language. I know, like, how much of an impact has it made in your life?
Well, 95% of everything I have in my life has come as a direct result of saying, can I do business with you? Literally, like 5% might be off investments or something like that. But my bread and butter is if I couldn't sell, I'm absolutely, positively, beyond a doubt, sure I will be a section manager at Walmart. Max.
Yeah.
Max. Because, you know, I went to school, I got degrees and everything, but what happens is this. Everything I added on has come from sales. So when I got a 6 Sigma black belt, that was to help me sell more project management and fix more call centers. When I got a master's in training and development, that was to get credentials so I could sell more services to call centers. You know, so, but then as I started branching out, selling to other types of people like, you know, T-Mobile or MCI WorldCom or Verizon or all these other companies, when I started selling to these other companies, they always ask the key question. So what kind of training and background and what kind of education? I'm like, I get results. Does it matter? And the reason why they only want you to have education, this is funny. So that way, when it goes wrong, they can say, at least he was qualified. That's the only reason they want to have education. So
true.
Here's a little, you can transfer this to social media. When people used to go, we need to have a fact sheet and all this other stuff. I stole this from Dan Kennedy. I used to stack like 80 or 90 case studies of people who use my stuff on actual company letterhead and say, here, check this one out right here. He has the same problem as you. Can I go to the bathroom real quick? And I would leave and go to the bathroom, go in the bathroom, hit my watch for 5 minutes. And guess what? When I come back, they're still reading all of it.
Sales pro right there.
Yeah, sales pro. And then when you get back, you say, so you have any questions? And they used to be like, when can we get started?
There you go.
So I guess that's part of the last 7 minutes, right? So to speak. I forgot all about that. I forgot all about, like, that's what I'm supposed to be telling people today about the last 7 minutes. So yeah.
That's right. That's right. Well, hey, we save the best for last, right?
Yeah, I guess. I forgot. I mean, I can hang out all day, but I know you got stuff to do.
There we go.
Spice Girls.
I think you got something there, man. Like, Jeff, what's up, Jeff? Thanks for coming and hanging out, man.
Spice Girls made a big difference for me. I mean, in terms of when I heard it, I was really going through challenging times right after 9/11 when I was listening to the song.
Gotcha.
I was like, man, tell me what you want. And I was like, that's what I keep trying to sell them what they need. They don't, like, because at the end of the day, everybody who's listening to us as a salesperson, especially if you're in the internet marketing world, I could find whatever you're doing in like one day, max. I could say 30 minutes because I know enough people to find whatever you do in 30 minutes. So it's not really your product they're buying. It's kind of they're buying your service, but what they're really buying is they're buying you. So if you make it easy for people to buy, they'll buy from you. So that's why your last 7 minutes, all right, so I'm absolutely 100% sure that everybody on this watching this or who will ever see it, seen Rocky, at least Rocky 1, 2, and 3.
I would hope so, man.
If they haven't, you need to do that this weekend. Skip Netflix. Do not pass go. Watch those 3 movies.
Yeah.
And here's what I've learned. When you look at Rocky, do you ever think about those guys are reading well-rehearsed lines? In any of your favorite movies, you go, oh man, that's great the way they wrote that and he's reading that. Oh, that's amazing. You never say that, right?
Right.
So in sales, your last 7 minutes need to come across like a Rocky movie or Braveheart or Gladiators. It need to be mastered to a point where it sounds like if I came and broke in your house and shook you in the morning, provided I don't get shot or killed, and you realize I was safe, and I said, tell me your closing pitch. And that last 7 minutes needs to be scripted like an elegant Fred Astaire, which nobody here is going to know who that is. So let me see, a Jennifer Lopez dance or Dancing with the Stars. But it needs to be elegant and choreographed in a way where it's beautiful music to the prospect's ear. That's where you get into full Spice Girl. So check out how it's all going to come full circle now. So
super Spice Girl.
Yeah, if you get all of your seasoning right and got the spice just right, because you're giving them what they want, they'll buy what they need to have what they want.
There you go.
So that's how the final 7 minutes work. So to make it more practical, what do you sell? I'm going to play dumb here. I know what you sell, but what do you sell, Chris? Tell us.
Yeah. Right now, we're sales agency, and we're hiring, onboarding, and training sales professionals for advertising agencies primarily.
Okay, so you help advertising agencies solve their issue of not enough time to sell. So you help them with closers and sales systems to bring clients in so they could do the work, and they have people bringing the work.
Yep. Yeah. One result is open calendar.
Okay. There you go. So if you selling them so your ultimate thing you're selling them is more appointments and more business. 4 words, right?
There you go.
I mean, you got all this other magic stuff behind the scenes. So
yeah, the how-to and the details, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. They don't want that. What they want is more appointments and more sales. So if at any point during your sales process, you should never talk about the other stuff, especially in the last 7 minutes, because this is where you actually put the steak on the grill and it all happens right now. This is when you sell that sizzle. See, it's all coming back. See, sizzle. So now this is where you sell the sizzle.
Season and sizzle.
Yeah. So you sell all of this together, and that's what's going to make them want to buy. So I have zero clue what you do, so I'm just going to ad lib here.
Yeah.
So there are 2 sides to what we do. So I would draw a circle, and then I would draw another circle. So on the left side, what we realize, one of the key ingredients that are keeping you from having everything you want is you just don't have enough appointments booked. And if you don't have enough appointments generated, it's going to result in less business, less everything. So it's going to be hard to make it. Would you agree? They're going to say, absolutely. So we have created a super secret system that is guaranteed to send you appointments on a daily basis to a point where we may be able to send you more appointments than you can comfortably handle. Is that a problem you'll be okay with?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So here go the 3 steps to our system. 1, we get your name out there. 2, we filter out the bad ones. 3, we get you qualified prospects on your phone. Now, how we do that's not really critical. Just know that we will do that, and you'll have more appointments. Okay. On the other circle, on this other side here, we're going to teach you how to take all of these appointments and turn appointments into cash faster than you ever thought possible. Are you okay with that?
Are you okay with that? Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So here's how we do that. First, we make the client super comfortable with everything that you offer in a way that it's going to be easy for them to understand. Second thing we do is show them why it's super logical to only do business with you. And once we do that, we're going to have them whip out their wallets and come to do business with you. Your big issue is, will you be able to handle the jaunty uptick in your sales and money coming in? Would you be able to handle that?
I love that problem.
Okay, great. So, but you notice in between the appointments and the sales, the circles overlap here, right? So we're going to write your name in here, Chris. So in the middle there, well, here's what the only variable in our system is: you. If you're willing to implement what we tell you, it will work. because I've tested this with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients. So as long as you follow our system and you do your part and we do our part, it will all work. But the only variable is you. So Chris, can I get your guarantee that you'll put in the work necessary to help us implement this in your company?
I'm all in.
Okay, great. Do you have any questions about this diagram?
What's next?
Great. Glad you asked that question. Let me show you how to get started. Boom. And see, so if it's eloquent and executed in the way that sounds like we're having a conversation, he doesn't have to know that for the last 3 weeks in the shower, I practiced that speech every single day.
Yeah.
So here's a perfect example. Everybody's heard the I Have a Dream speech. If you haven't, you're dead. Just go look it up. But here's the funny thing that people don't know. Martin Luther King gave that speech like 70 something times, and it culminated on the steps in Washington, D.C. But he was giving that speech in Detroit, in Alabama, in Louisiana, like a stump speech. But when it finally culminated at that last day, everything was right because he rehearsed it so many times that he didn't need his notes no more. He could just speak from his soul. So you want to master your last 7 minutes so you can have a I Have a Dream speech type of performance so that people want to follow your vision that you have carefully crafted for them. Oh, I have a dream. There you go. So that's how that all works together in the last 7 minutes.
Man, that coach, that's powerful for everybody, man. Like some takeaways. Thank you for just doing the thing. You know, you're a true sales pro when you start selling you to you, like which is me to me, on the spot in front of everybody. So hopefully there's some great copy in there for people as you guys are working on your closes. I like the circle analogy and the respect of the process and what good looks like. I like to say it in different words where it's like, hey, you show me something simple, valuable, good, and I'll show you blood, sweat, and tears.
Oh, I like that.
Because that's just what it takes. I haven't found any shortcut yet for a great relationship, great relationships, building quality businesses, sales pitches. It just work. It's like, well, some people will be like, oh, Chris, like, oh, how do you get good at sales? I was like, well, I mean, just take, roughly 10,000 calls and you'll start getting decent.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
It's like, huh? Like, what? How am I supposed to do this? Like, I mean, I don't know. What else do you want me to say? I mean, I can give you some anecdotes and cool things, but what you're saying is Martin Luther King gave that speech. You said 70 times?
63 times before he did it on the
63 times. Like, man, can you imagine if everyone listening did their pitch 15, 20, 30 times even?
The same way.
And not even the pitch, like the last 7 minutes.
The last 7 minutes, yes. That's why it's called the last 7 minutes.
See, so like I remember
part of the speech that everybody plays is always the reason why I call it the last 7 minutes, because the last 7 minutes of the I Have a Dream speech is the part that everybody always hears. So I said I need to create that same type of fever pitch in the buyer's mind in the last 7 minutes. So the dream I have for them will become true for them. So I have a dream, a vision for my client, and I want to make that dream. Their dream is to get my service and use it and integrate it into what they do. So my dream is to help them do that. So as a salesperson, I think it's my duty to help them create the conditions so they can have what they want. And I'm here to help them execute on that. That's all.
It's so good. And like, as you're sharing that, their dream, what's up, Sean? Shout out to Sean. Loving the last 7 minutes. Is for them to use, because like if you're talking, they're talking for a reason, right? I think we all can agree on that. And so the dream really is for them to use the service and go further, faster, and get a bigger, better result, better standard of living, etc. So the assumptions that you're making, but you're putting that in your head. Why am I hanging on this? Because for the business professional, sales marketing professional, a lot of times we get stuck in the what if game. Well, what if it doesn't go well? What if this fails? And okay. Let's play the what if game. What if all the crap happens? Okay. Just make sure we also play the other side. What if all the great stuff happens? And what you did is that. It's the dream, and and you're saying it, you're thinking it. And when you bring that into a conversation, that's a lot different. 7 minutes.
I don't even want to say it. So here you go. So here's something I was famous for back in my network marketing days when I was building 10,000 person teams. Faith is the ability to see things not as they are, but as they can be, as they are not, but as they could be. So in sales, that's what you're doing, because they can't see your vision because you just painted it for them. So they have to have faith, and the only way you can give them faith is by having that Rocky level, Martin Luther King level, Obama level, Bill Clinton, JFK level congruency with what you're saying, because your belief will make them leap forward and give you money. So here's a funny short story. I give you $100 if you can tell me where the word con man came from.
Oh man, here we go.
Yeah,
where the comment, like, wait, what's the comment? Did you already say where this comment came from?
What con man? Where did that come from?
Con man. Where the? I'm not sure. The first thing that comes to mind is like Nicolas Cage and Con Air, and which is I don't know. We went there. It's random. I get it. We can all judge me. It's fine.
Con Air was actually a good movie for the low.
It was a good movie.
Con man is short for confidence man.
Whoa, that got twisted over time.
No, it hasn't. Think about it. Every con man is very confident.
Fair point. Where
it actually comes from.
So it was always twisted.
It was always twisted. Yeah. So confidence man was never a good thing, because what it's saying is you have more confidence than your ability to achieve what you were saying you could do.
Yeah.
That's where we get con man from. So with that in mind.
I love it, man. Spice Girls, con man. This is good. So
learn to be a good con man. Have enough confidence that you can back it up. So here's what I always say: overpromise and overdeliver.
Interesting.
Yeah, you overpromise and overdeliver, because here's the problem: people are scared to put themselves out there, so they make safe guarantees and safe promises. Customers don't get excited about safe guarantees and safe promises. So if I came and say, hey, Chris, I can increase your revenue by 5% in 2021, you're going to be like, have a good day. I could do that on my own. But if I said, if I could show you a simple technique that if I integrated it into your organization, it'll increase top end revenue by 35% and increase bottom line profit by 50%, then you got 20 minutes.
There you go.
Now you got 20 minutes. Like, okay, 50% more profit.
I actually got 23 minutes. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah. So like, can you cancel everything? You know what I'm saying? So like,
yeah.
But people don't make a good, solid promise that they know they can back up.
Man, as you're saying that, there might be some people listening like, well, shoot, I don't. But Korby, like, I don't want to lie to people, and Korby, I don't have a good promise like that. What would you say to them?
But you can promise effort. When I was all right, so when I first started, this is gonna make you laugh, the short version of the long story. When I first got into coaching, it was in 1992. I know, there was no word for it. A guy named Thomas Leonard was training anybody who wanted to be a coach back then for free. Can you imagine? So I got into like coaching because of network marketing. People kept coming and said, Korby, teach me how to make 6 figures. I'm like, okay, sit down. Let's talk to them. Here's my notes. I show you my notes, and you kind of do what I did. And then one person came up to me, and this is how I got into coaching. Hey, Korby, I heard you helping a few people over here hit national sales director. Can you help me? I'm like, dude, I'm kind of busy. He says, I'll give you $3,000 a month. I said, how's Monday at 9 a.m. for you? That's how
I'm ready.
I'm, $3,000 to say what I'm saying for free. I'm in. So that's when I started coaching as a profession, and then I started learning. So I learned from Thomas Leonard first, and then I started building up a reputation. But here's what I learned. And this is the same thing that anybody sells. I could sign a client up, but I couldn't keep a client. Then I could actually sign them up and then keep the client, but then I couldn't get results because I didn't know enough. Then I can actually sign them up, keep them, and get results, but I couldn't sustain the results and lock them in. In the final stages, I can find them, I can get them results, I can sustain the results, and then I could get referrals. But that little 30 seconds there took like 8 years, because what happens is a lot of times as coaches, we give clients too much to do. They already got a full life.
So true. So true.
I always say less is more, but execution on less is more. Not just less is more. Execution on less is more. As a martial artist for 30 plus years, simple version, I know dozens, hundreds of kicks and punches, literally. But when I fight, I use 3 kicks, 3 punches, and 4 blocks. And it was enough to get me grand championships for 5 straight years.
Wow.
In spite of all those techniques, it boils down to 4 basic punches, 4 basic blocks, 3 basic kicks. And I was unbeatable.
Crazy.
Because I mastered those few things. Or if you're, for your younger people, just be like One Punch Man. Get one thing you can guarantee you can do and do it better than anybody else.
That's awesome, man. That's so powerful. I hope everyone's hearing that, loving it, and becoming, as a result, giving themselves permission to do less, double down on the things that are getting the best results, and just execute. Yeah. So what martial arts were you in?
Oh, I did Wing Chun and I did Shaolin Kung Fu.
There we go.
Yeah. So I did, if you're into martial arts, I did Ip Man Wing Chun, and I was actually taught by Danny Inosanto for a little bit. And most people aren't gonna know who that is. But if you saw Game of Death with Bruce Lee, the guy he fought with the nunchucks on the first floor is Danny Inosanto.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Short version of the long story we'll talk about another day. He the one that actually taught Bruce Lee how to use nunchucks, because that's actually a Filipino weapon.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That dude, yeah, some interesting trivia right there.
Yeah, he told him he used to teach up here at Princeton Martial Arts Academy for years. So I did Wing Chun and also learned JKD from him, because he's one of Bruce Lee's 6 students who learned the complete system. Kareem Abdul is another one. So those are, I think, 2 of the 6 living people who know his entire JKD system.
Dang, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I grew up watching all kinds of, like, even Tony Jaa. Of course, that was later in life, but on Bach and those.
1, 2, and 3. Come on, man.
Oh yeah. I know if you're in that space, you got to watch that stuff. But yeah, I mean, Chuck Norris and Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme, all the, I don't know, Bruce Lee, of course.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been really fun hanging out, Korby.
I've enjoyed this, man, immensely.
Sales all day. Last 7 minutes, seasoning and sizzle, and all the other anecdotes you guys drop. I love this. Keep it fun. People want to buy fun, and then they'll justify it logically in the sale. So, if people are leaning in and they want to hear more Korby, where do they go?
Just find me on Facebook. If you go at Coach Korby, one word, on Facebook. On Instagram, you're gonna see mainly the things I cook. I like cooking, so you'll see recipes and places I travel. So Instagram is mainly about travel, cooking, and fun. Like I play pool, I play chess. Those are my 2 passions. Every time I get in a relationship, the first thing I sit her down and say, look, I have 2 mistresses. One's chess and one pool. If you can't be in that relationship, we need to know up front.
Hey, you're being up front, man. You're being up front.
You gotta let them know about the mistresses, because they're jealous. If you don't spend time with them, they leave you fast. So gotta play pool, gotta play chess, and it keeps me actually good and sharp for business.
That's awesome, man. Like today, getting to connect. I mean, you're clearly a talented guy, right? Like martial arts, winning championships, Sig Sigma black belt, I think is what you threw out there. Which is operations, analytic, mental gymnastic extraordinaire, and a lot and other degrees that you mentioned. Obviously, you've done well in business. Why, man? So just kind of the last question, impact you want to leave in the world, and what drives you?
My passion is I try to fix systemic issues. And what I mean by that is one thing I'm passionate about is helping build water wells in 3rd world countries. So anytime I could donate or help in any way possible with different charities, I know that to build the water wells. My church's mission actually is to build water wells. And our church has built more than, I think it's at 65 different water wells in Central America, in the Caribbean, and actually have 4 in Africa at this point. And the beauty of a water well is, on average, it'll feed 400 or give enough water for 400 families for 20 years.
Wow.
For 10 grand, and the other thing I'm passionate about is my local homeless shelter here. I love to spend extra time when I have time on Fridays. I like to go over there and do prep in the kitchen and just be one of the crew, not lead, nothing, because I think in order to be an effective leader, you need to spend time following. And it's interesting that all of the people that I usually volunteer with, you got like heavy duty executive directors, CEOs, really heavyweights, and they're following a a $16 an hour employee's instructions to the letter. And it takes a certain amount of humility to do that, because you can go, man, I could just bring people in here and they can cook. No, it's the process. See, until you fall in love with the process, you're not allowed to have the profits. And that's as a salesperson or in life or in business. You gotta follow the process, and you gotta be in line. Sometimes you gotta follow. You gotta be master of following stuff, your own routine, other people, direction, your clients. Because at the end of the day, your clients are your boss. If you don't know how to follow and you're not a good follower, you can't be a good leader.
So powerful. So powerful. Korby, really appreciate the time, man. Hanging out here.
Thank you, sir.
I'm sure the sales ascenders loved you as much as I do and enjoyed the convo. So, yep, we'll see you guys next week on the Member Spotlight and continuing to bring the heat.